just like that, it's Wednesday night jazz hands.
Right, jazz hands brought to you by WAF Racing. I'm not going to miss it this time, so there you go. The last one of the year.
Yeah, we got one of them right.
Right. Yeah, I totally whiffed it last week, man. I didn't even just out of my brain. But yeah, brought to you by WAF Racing. Thank you, WAF Racing. So go and check them out, wafracing.com, and get all your needs. And they're the ones that allow this to happen, so that way we can bring it to you for free.
Well, you know what's interesting is I looked at the WAF Racing website. You know, it's linked to like WAF Engineering, and he can like literally make you anything you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, you guys know I make all those load spreaders and a few other things. I'm actually kind of going into cahoots with him on a few things. So I sent him some files for not only load spreaders, but also for small slant 6 to small block Mopar, because there's going to be maybe a 4-speed behind a 4-speed automatic, and then maybe an 8-speed behind a slant 6. Who knows? How cool would that be?
Slant 6 make enough power to run an 8-speed?
The 8-speed only takes about 27 horsepower to turn. So
okay, so 17 is power glide. Yeah.
Sorry. So it's so it's only a little bit more, but it's a super efficient transmission because it's got really thin fluid in it, and there's no bands. Bands are what kill it, and everything's made out of aluminum, so it's actually rather light internally.
Huh. All right. Well, I guess I'll start from the top. Miss Catchy was here at 627. Fab Race Mod Repeat. Happy New Year from Fab Race Mod Repeat headquarters. KS Skyhawk is here. Slant Day the Garage. What's up, suckers? Racer Ray. He has a tech question. I'll have to come back to it in a few minutes. Bruce Coltgen is here. John Wilburn is here. Colleen Tebow, aka Mama M3. Kerosene Cucumbers, the bangingest name on all of YouTube.
Right.
Big Block 402. Tom Brown, otherwise known as Buick Smith. Buff Del Campo. Let's see. Paul Pihui is here. The One-Eyed Cat is here. Hot Rod Guy Garage. Russell is here. Wendy English is here from the English clan. The One-Eyed Cat is her husband, if you didn't know that. So Bigfoot, some Mopars. Mark is here. And Left Turn Dodge. And last but not least, Mr. Dust Devil Brian is in the house.
Nice. Hey, before you go any further, I want to say something, because I got a gift in the mail. And I was kind of showing to you earlier, but I'm going to say this is probably one of the single greatest, hands down, gifts I was ever given. Buick Smith, right here. Check this out. Look at this thing, man. He gave me a bottle opener. He handmade this. It's not like he just went out and like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna buy this. Nah, man, he sent me this thing. Look at how cool that is, dude.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah. So I haven't taken a sticker out because my kid loves it, but this is a Buick Smith. This is him. I want to say thanks, dude, for real. This is awesome. I'm going to hang this up. This is actually going in my music room here, TV room. So this is going to be in there for all the people who like a frosty beverage while they're in here. So thank you, man.
Well, and Racer Ray has a tech question. He says, tech right out of the gate. Dallas, what should I look for in a Q-Jet for performance build? I expect having the adjustable part throttle mixture is a good thing. Chevy or BOP fuel inlet. Okay. I could probably do a whole entire YouTube video on just this. But the ones I look for, okay. So 74 and earlier are the older design, and you had 750 or 800 CFM versions. All big block Buicks got the 800 CFM version, essentially from 71 on up. I do not look for those carburetors for a performance build. If you're not limited to the carburetor part number and you're just wanting a good cost-effective carburetor, the 75 and up well, I take that back. I'll explain in a second. 76 and up is the good starting point. So you want to get something from 76 on up. The easiest ones to find are a Chevrolet version. All of those are 800 CFM. They got rid of the 750 CFM early model ones. And the only real difference is in the primary, there's a casting bump. So it just decreased CFM by 30 CFM or by 50 CFM in the primary side. So instead of having, 250 on the primary side, you have 300 on the primary side now. and the secondaries on a quadrajet are always 500 CFM. Okay, so the reason why I say 76 on up is you want to look for the ones at the top. If you're looking at it directly from the top, it has like a little nipple right off to the left side. It just looks like a nipple is what it looks like. Underside of that is a little plastic container that captures more fuel. Okay, but those are the easily identifiable ones. That's like the M4VM or M4MV or whatever they are. They got some weird designator. The 75 fits in the category, and you can use a 75 carburetor, but it needs significant modifications. Instead of having 2 primary metering rods, it has 3, and it has a whole nother arm that rides on the power piston, and it's all by itself. The good thing about the 75 is the base plate has the regular adjustable screws in the bottom of the base plate. So what you do is you buy the 75, throw the entire top away. Well, you can keep the air horn because it's going to be the same, but you throw the main body away, take the base plate and use it on your later carburetor that you will most likely end up with. Now, the BOP fuel inlet, and it's not really BOP fuel inlet. It's Chevrolet and Oldsmobile have the 90-degree fuel inlet because the fuel pump is on the passenger side of the block. The Buick and Pontiac have the straight end inlet because the fuel pump is on the driver's side of the block. And that's what dictates what fuel inlet. There is no real difference between either one. If you think about it, the fuel coming in has to make a 90-degree turn before it gets in. So the best one to go for it would be a straight, just because there's less restriction on the fuel coming in. But in reality, it makes not much of a difference on those. Okay, when you get down to the carburetor itself, because I actually have my own preferred carburetor years there, which is 77, 78, 79, and 80. Okay, those are the quadrajets I go for. The later quadrajets have so much you can do to them. The adjustable part throttle is the ideal thing to start with. And what you want to do is find something relatively close to your cubic inch. If you got 350 cubic inches, you can use a 305 Chevy carburetor. It's not going to be that much of a difference, right? But don't go out and get one for a 231 V6 Buick or a 4.1 liter V6 Buick and stab it on a 455. I know you're probably trying to use this on your truck. I'm hoping so on the MES 10, and that would be kind of cool if you use it on the MES 10. But so get yourself a 77, 78, 79 carburetor. Pull the base plate off. The base plates are interchangeable. Put the 75 base plate on it so that you have the adjustable idle screws in the bottom. And then buy a book from a guy named Cliff Ruggles. And you can get it on like Amazon. It's like how to build your quadrajet or performance quadrajet modifications. Or this is a quadrajet book, right? And it's going to list every metering rod on the planet and every hanger and stuff like that for the secondaries. But he also gives you the tips and tricks on how to modify the carburetor, work with something with a camshaft. If you look at the air bleeds on it, what are the ideal metering rod and jet combinations for that air bleed? It gives you a good starting point for every single one. And that's probably been the most helpful thing. I have a few other things that's just, that was the stuff you used before Cliff Ruggles' book. So other than that, though, I would start there. You do want the one with the adjustable part throttle, and it is 800 CFM, and you could build something really wicked out of that with an electric choke, so it doesn't require any BS going through the intake manifold. So
you could clip this and just make this a YouTube video.
Yeah, I could. I mean, what would be ideal is if I had one here and showed you how to do it. But,
yeah, right.
Yeah, you're trying to build a good quadrajet at home. That's where you start.
Yeah. So here's the Wolf Racing link. And someone was saying up here that there's greetings to all day before the apocalypse. Is there supposed to be an apocalypse? Is there a new one? Is there a new fear or something?
I don't know. I don't care about none of that.
Yeah,
Do you really think
no.
that the fucking apocalypse would happen on New Year's?
No.
I'm going to tell you right now, if there is an apocalypse and it does happen, it's going to be on a Tuesday afternoon at 3:30 in the fucking afternoon, right?
When the super volcano.
Think about it. Like, nothing significant happens on a specific date.
Right. Exactly.
And that's what I always found was like so dumb. You know, I remember what was the first one that I saw? The retarded Y2K thing,
Yes.
right? Like, oh my God, the world is going to end on Y2K. Why would the world stop existing if computer can't count triple digits?
Exactly.
Right?
Computers are fairly new.
When I was a kid, we didn't even have computers.
Right.
So if it doesn't count to triple digits, so what? But it was not my problem.
And Mr. Wilburn's getting the first switch pitch alive in there. So there it is. Mr. John Wilburn at 11 minutes in. Switch pitch. There you go.
Let's see. So tomorrow is the apocalypse, huh?
2026 will be the year of the switch pitch. Look at that.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is the apocalypse tonight.
Is. Tom saying, you're welcome, Shane. It was a toss-up between making you a skull or a lizard, dude. I would have been cool with either one of them, but I'm really into skulls. Actually, if anyone ever comes to my house, we had a custom door made for the front of our house. And the wife wanted a tree, and I said, for sure, we can have a custom door as long as there's a skull in there somewhere. So there is literally a skull in our tree on the front of our house that you have to look to find it, but there's a skull there. And if you look at it from the back, you actually see it really good. So it glows inside. It's really cool. So, but thank you. I want to thank you again. Oh,
he says, he says that the gold color on the skull is brass melted on from a brass brush while the skull is coming down off of the heat.
Yeah, I can totally tell that because I was looking at it like, how did he get that color on there? You know what I mean? I didn't want to touch it too much, but it looked like it was either brass or some sort of bronze or something like that. It's really cool, man. It's really cool. Brian said that he called Alex yesterday morning. UPS delivered a TCI valve body today. Look at that. 1 day turnaround. That's awesome. Oh, and Dallas, you did say nipple, by the way.
I did.
You did say nipple.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it looks like. If you look at it from the top, the old ones don't have it, then the new ones do. That's the easiest way to identify it.
Oh, you got that right here. Okay, got it. Yeah. Skull brass melted down. Okay, cool.
Yeah. SSR Performance says, I saw early 70s, late 60s, 1,000 CFM Performance Rochester the other day, posted in a group made from early pro stock. I'd like to see them in action. I've never seen one. I've seen like the experimental ones they did that were 850 CFM. I've seen because every year at the Buick Nationals in Bowling Green, they always have like the engineer that worked for Buick bring a whole booth that has everything experimental. 4-bolt main, cross-bolt to beam blocks, heads that have the exhaust ports milled off with a head plate on them. And he was the guy that spearheaded the Series 2 V6 Buick, right? So that was his last job before he retired, which that was to really just take the V6 Buick and integrate the Stage 2 stuff into a regular mass production. So, yeah.
Seeing Dallas, have you seen the PRW made a USA spreadbore quadrajet replacements that are available now? Did you know that?
I don't know what PRW is, and I'm thinking that you're probably talking about the Chinesium ones.
Probably, because we get those, and they'll be spray painted chrome, the Mexican chrome with a little red Edelbrock sticker on it, saying that's our carburetor.
Oh, and you guys do Q-Jets? You used to do Q-Jets a long time ago.
Yes, we sure do. Yeah, we did. When do you have to register to keep the discount with Edelbrock? I believe we allow it up through. It's February 1st, I think, is when the discount ends, I believe. But as long as you're registered, then your discount keeps going. So, so if you haven't registered from No Name Nationals, you should, because you only get these next 31 days in January. And then after that, there's going to be a new schedule going up that's going to be going to Alex that John's going to get to him. And that's going to be the new people for the discount.
So SSR Performance says, here's a tip, stay away from PRW. Yeah. Is PRW stand for like the People's Republic of what, China?
Right. Wuhan. That's what it is.
Yeah. And then Racer Ray says he's got an extensive collection of Q-Jets, so I'll dig through them. You probably got enough to build something pretty cool there, bud.
Speaking of SSR Performance, SSR Performance posted something really cool in the AHRA No Name Nationals page there. He's building a Gen 3 Hemi for Triple Crown.
Oh, I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's got that high tower intake manifold on it.
Yes, it does. So I'm really excited because I already know that that's going to be that's going to be a contender. I know that very much so.
Yep. Hot Rod Guy Garage. Russell says that, by the way, I was kidding about the apocalypse. Since we were on carburetor tech, in a fuel mileage scenario on your basic V8, two barrel variable Venturi, spread bore, or square bore. Oh, the two barrels are not good at fuel economy. They do miserly give you fuel because they miserly give you air, right? That's the only reason. They're actually, my go-to on this would be the spread bore, right? Because the spread bore has a really small primary. It's smaller than the regular two barrel, which is generally 500 CFM. And so you got that real small primary, but when you get into it, it's supposed to have that smooth transition. But I think what it is, it's like it's too big. That's where you get the quadribog from.
Yeah, too much drop.
You know, yeah, they got too greedy on it. They should have probably made it like 400 and 600 or 400 and 400 CFM, right? I don't know. But the spread bore kind of wins in this. I've only had one Ford variable Venturi, which was on an LTD, a 1982 or 3 LTD. I was very unimpressed with it, and I took it off and just put a regular two barrel on, a Motorcraft two barrel.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get the carburetor to work.
Yeah,
like the variable Venturis are so hard.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to work either. It worked for like a little bit, but it was made for one thing, and that was literally cruising. If I had it now in this part of the world where there's no hills and no like mountains, it'd probably be perfect. The problem is that every light in California is at the bottom of a hill. So it's literally uphill acceleration, and then you're kind of going up and down, stop and go. It didn't run there at all. But here it probably would run great because it's all literally everything's flat around here. But for me, I personally like the square bores. I don't
like the variable Venturis because they didn't have an accelerator pump, really.
I don't remember. Right? I don't remember if it did or not.
I don't think it
didn't. It didn't have an accelerator pump. That's right.
Yeah, I think it just draws straight from the float bowl all the time.
Yeah, and in fact, the variable Venturi, it's right because it had a throttle blade and then like this vacuum thing on it, if I remember correctly, and it would just open up and then it would slowly open. Like it was weird.
Yep.
Oh, hey, look at this. We got a super chat.
So see that. Thank you very much, Ray.
Yeah, thanks, bud. It's the switch pitch apocalypse. That's what it's going to be.
Apocalypse. Yeah. All right. Well, my switch pitch in the Suburban is still kicking ass and taking names. I love it.
Right.
Yeah. Clayton's Toolbox says not switch pitch, but a Turbo 400 has helical gears and a Turbo 475 has straight cut gears, and they interchange. Do you think the straight cut gears would have much less parasitic loss worthwhile to use them? Okay. Helical cut gears. All right. I guess I should start this off by saying straight cut gears take less power to turn, handle more power completely, right? And actually do not wear as much as helical cut gears.
Because there's no thrust. There's less thrust.
So if you can get a straight cut gear set for a 475, that would probably be the best gear set you could get. Now, the downside to it, it will be noisy.
Yeah, it whines really bad. You're going to hear it. I had straight cut gears in my Volkswagen Bug, and it was noisy as hell. It really was.
It does make them significantly stronger, though. If you have a race car and it's got open headers, you'll never even notice the noise, so don't even sweat it.
Yeah, don't stress.
But if it's something that you want to drive on the street, it's probably going to drive you batty. I think a 475, didn't that come in like the Torinos or Tornados and what's the other one? The Cadillac Eldorado.
Isn't that like that funky like front wheel drive looking 400? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yep.
but
Yep.
it's like literally got a transfer case, like a 4-row timing chain on it.
Yeah. So Dallas, I heard on another channel that there was a to drill a hole from the main float bowl to the Q jet, another part of the carb to gain extra fuel capacity. Do you know about this?
Well, on the later carbs, you don't have to. I know I did not know this because I don't know what bowl they're actually pulling from. But on the later quadrojets, like I was mentioning in the when Ray had asked, that little nipple at the top, right underneath of it sits a plastic, like a plastic reservoir. Okay, and it's to take up space. You can literally take that plastic reservoir out and just run the gasket, and it's connected directly to the float bowl and gives it the entire area of that where that plastic phenolic piece was as extra float bowl. You don't even really have to drill anything. Now, I could look at some carburetors and probably determine where they're getting that at. But what I found is the most successful. And if you use the later quadrojets actually have a smaller float bowl, which made the problem you would think worse, right? But the reality of it is when you remove that plastic phenolic piece in the carburetor, and they also made a float that's smaller, you end up with considerably more surface area, more volume in the float bowl than you do the early ones.
Brian's asking, has everyone used a dash 4 braided line on an oil pressure gauge? Yeah, dude, I've used a dash 6 all the way up to it because that's what I had. And then I used a reducer down to the back of the thing. It doesn't make any difference because it's just pressure. There's no volume going through it at all. It's literally just putting pressure. So it doesn't matter how much volume is behind it because it's just gonna have the same amount of pressure because nothing is moving. There's no velocity behind it. So whatever you got, put it right up to it. I've also had them too, where they come right off of, like, I have an AccuSump on all my cars. So I've actually had to go down to the AccuSump line. That way I can monitor the pressure in the line with the engines, actually with the AccuSump, seeing before it turns on or off, and actually have that on the Cookie Monster right now. So it doesn't make any difference. It wouldn't make any difference.
Let's see. Hot Rod Guy Garage Russell says the variable Venturi stuff is kind of neat, but extremely finicky. They have indefinitely adjustable jetting by screw. I tell you what, the variable Venturi carburetor, I think, would be absolutely awesome if they would have came out with the air fuel ratio gauge at the same time, the wideband, right? Because you could really get something out of that with that wideband. The old school guys tuning it by ear, that was never going to happen, right? But I think if you did them today, to do it right today, would almost be worth just getting one like a Motorcraft one, because they were manufactured on a lot of Fords. I don't know anybody else that had one from the factory. I know the Predator is one, but it's a 4-barrel. But it almost may be worth just having, a 2-barrel and then try that wideband O2 sensor on it and see what that thing can really do. Would be kind of neat just to see what it could do.
I would like to get one and put it on something that stays nice and steady, because that's where it really shine, is under high vacuum type of scenarios where it just leans it way out, and then that way you could just rip that. You could actually just put the ignition way up there, like 45, 50 degrees.
Yeah, get a super lean and tons of timing.
Yep, and tons of timing. So Andy's got we use dash 4 on the oil pressure on the dyno, and we use one in Clark. Yeah, it won't make any difference. SSR saying, I'm excited about the Hemi Bill, but not excited about the 69 Roadrunner suspension. Dude, that's really a simple suspension, man. I'm telling you, with the torsion bars.
Yeah, but see, they got to try to hook it up. I think the thing that maybe he's talking about the leaf springs. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, Caltrax that thing, man. I'm telling you, on the Roadrunner suspension, because just like with the anything that's Mopar, it's a 75-25 type of spring. So they respond well to Caltrax. I ran Caltrax all the way down into the 5s, well into the 5s. And my car needed to be lighter, but I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to cut it all up. That's the only reason why I went away from the Caltrax. But yeah, that's going to be just fine for what you're going to be doing. And in the front with the torsion bar, just get yourself some really thin slant six style torsion bars, and then that way you can adjust it in between rounds. And then the little bump stops, you can change the different thicknesses on the bump stops to give your car a lot more height and a lot more down. And I was getting out of the stock suspension on the Cookie Monster before I changed it. I was getting 6 inches of movement up and down before the tires came off from sitting to acceleration. So and it was still tracking. There was no bump steering because it was all factory stuff. When it came off the ground and when it came back down is when I would get the Chrysler wobble. But other than that, you should be fine.
Man, long wheel travel. My T-Bird came with inch wider track than a 5-liter Mustang, right?
Yeah.
So nobody makes anything specifically for the T-Bird. So I have 94, 95 Mustang A-arms on it, and they're actually a little bit wider than the T-Bird ones. But then I also have the struts from a 95 Mustang as well, and it allows an inch longer travel on the suspension. And oh my God, dude, my T-Bird, it was like almost long travel suspension.
Just using it's like 12 inches. It's like 12 inches.
It's huge.
I had to jack it up and then put it on jack stands, get extra blocks, and then jack it up again. Even my high lift thing that wouldn't take it off the ground.
Yeah.
Here's a good one for you. This is it right here. Dallas, will 2026 be the year of the What If 300?
Oh yeah, it'll be done this year. I really just have to finish up the intake manifold. That's the only thing I have left to do on the What If 300. The heads, I take that back. I do have to rebuild the heads, and that's only because they got rusty from sitting for so long. The cam I got from Professor P in when did we do Slanted Nationals? 2021.
21, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I got the cam for it. You sent me the cam, and I had Professor P regrind it. The only thing, like, we were literally just going to cut down the journals and stab her in, right? But I wanted the profile from the 300, and here was the issue. The 300 had such a large profile, and the journals were all tapered, right? Of the early cam, because I was putting it in a 300 block. So all the journals are tapered, right? Mm-hmm. The lobes were so large you couldn't get them through all the journals. So then you had to re-center the cam on a smaller base circle.
Yeah.
And recut the cam with the 300 profile. And by the way, the 300 has a pretty healthy ass profile.
And not only that too, but when you make the profile smaller, it will actually change the duration, slightly, because you're going to make it physically smaller. So you had to take a lot of things into account. So when we had to regrind that, I took the profile, made the master, then had to get an idea of what the base circle was going to be. So that way, when we cut it, it would come back and be the same. So that way you weren't growing the cam. It was actually going to be the cam, but that thing was actually really healthy. I remember looking at the numbers.
You told me, I remember the exact words. You're like, hey, we're done with the cam, and my God, it's got the biggest profile of any stock cam I've ever seen.
That's correct. I do remember that. Yep, that's right. It was one of those too, because I was like, I even asked you this. I do remember this. Hey, dude, this thing's not been cut. There's nothing been done on this. And you're like, no, that's factory.
And that was the 350 cam that you had, the 350 Buick cam.
Oh, was it 351? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
But so Racer Race.
Well, he was saying that Unity's saying this bucket list carb is one of those inline 4-rail Autolites.
I do want to try one of those.
Me too. I think those would be cool.
Man, Bobby Frizzell just messaged me, Happy New Year, buddy. Why are you not in the live? Why are you not in the live, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I had to put my phone in the pocket over here because I'm getting blown up also.
Yeah, Racer Race says Q-Jet shot glass, the plastic insert. That's exactly it. That's what you take out. And then it connects the float bowl to that big area where the shot glass is at. Andy says at 724, I can tell you the Q-Jet cult is real based off the comments on my vids. So I'm assuming what he means by that is the video for the Easy 302. I did the Q-Jet on that first, and there was dudes that was like hating on me, and then there was dudes that was like, you're my hero,
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like one way or the other. It was either like, dude, you're a mouth-breathing retard, or hey, man, wear an S on your chest. It was never in between.
Brian, he's saying that Buick, Big Block 402 is saying that he's going to buy his dream card next month with a 481 bottom end, and he's going to clean at the machine shop with a VRS 950 E85. It's awesome. See if there's anyone. Oh, here we go.
So Barrels Garage says, Dallas, I found the perfect home from one of my 79 Regal Turbo 3.8. Once the Corvair leaves the shop, the 65 Dart is going Buick with balls. Hey, well, check it out. Okay, 79 Turbo Regal 3.8. Okay, Shane kind of delved into these. I don't know where you got the idea from, but that's what he's using to put on his Slant 6.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did that. That was something that I did way back when I was in Volkswagens.
I know the Volkswagen guys used them a lot.
Yeah, because they were 20 at that time in the early 90s. Those things were a dime a dozen in the wrecking yards, and they were still in perfect condition because it's a suck-through carb, and you literally, because it mounted perfect and the carburetor was facing the right direction, it literally couldn't have been easier, and you could just put it on a regular manifold and there was an adapter plate sold for it. It was perfect.
And then after a while, Shane did some research because he had me looking for the turbo 3.8s, and he found that the 301 Pontiac one was a little bit bigger turbo and it was the same kind of setup. So then we started looking for one of those. I found him one. He's going to use it on a Slant, but then I had this genius idea when I was looking at it, was like, dude, what if I took the 301 turbo with the draw-through carb and put it on a 300 Buick? It's virtually the same cubic inch. Right, it would run just like that 3.8, except for it's 8 cylinders worth. So I would like to try that out as well. Let's see.
Yes, you can, because I've done it also.
Danny Boyd says, "Can a dumb butt patch a cracked plastic radiator tank with a short strain fiberglass filler?" Yes, I did it.
You know how I know I did it is that I was doing oil changes at my house, and this was back in the 90s. And somebody came in with a Honda, and I put my hand on the radiator cap and was leaning over the car. And if you know those, the radiator cap comes over like this, and it's plastic on top, and I cracked it. I broke the radiator right there. And I was just like, man, this sucks. I went up there and got all that stuff, that resin and all the fiberglass from, well, at the time it was Chief Auto Parts. And I went up there and patched it up, and it worked, and it never leaked a day, and it was totally good.
SSR Performance says, Dallas, did you try welding on the intake anymore? I haven't. My son was here for Christmas. Then my daughter was here after Christmas. And then I haven't really had any time to work on it. So this week will be my first getaway to work on that. So hopefully tomorrow, ? Yeah, hit me back next Wednesday. I should have time to have worked on it. So,
he's saying yes. The cam came from a 1968 Buick 350 2-barrel engine from a brown 4-door Skylark with a white interior and a white vinyl top.
Yeah, well, it's going to be in the What If 300 because I needed something that was the 350 Buick profile. So I had the valve arrangement of the 350 Buick, and then we had to taper the Camcord journals down to fit into 300, and then regrind the cam so it would fit through the damn cam journals.
That was a project, man. That was something I did that. I did that all on like lunch breaks and after school and after work and stuff. So
I better measure those journals.
Measure them again. Did you already put it in? It fits, right?
It's in there. I'm joking. It's been in there for 3 years or something. I've just been cutting this intake down and dealing with life in between, and it hasn't been good on me.
Oh yeah. Oh, so anyways, happy
he's
New Year
asking.
from
He's asking here at 733. Shane, was the profile on the 350 the largest you've ever seen, or the 300 profile after grinding?
The one that was on. It was the cam that we had to profile to put on the 300. So I think it was the 350 profile. I think is what it was, wasn't it?
No, it was the 300. You said was humongous.
300. Then it was the 300.
Because I found I want to say I found the lift information on it, and from the factory, it's like 387.
So okay,
right?
so I just remember. So just because I did this so long ago. Was it we took the profile of a 350 or we took the profile of the 300?
Okay, I'll explain it because a lot of people are unaware of what it all is. Okay, the 300 has a valve arrangement like a nailhead Buick,
Well, no,
and
no,
in this,
I know that one, but what I'm asking is that did I take the profile of the 300 and is that the one I made the master for and then put it on the 350 cam?
it was a 350 Buick camshaft from a 2-barrel engine that was probably only 215 horse,
Okay.
right? But all we really needed was a camshaft blank
Mm-hmm.
because they changed the valve arrangement in the heads,
Uh-huh.
right? So I had to have a blank that had the intake valve opening when it was supposed to
Yeah, because I remember they're all
versus
over
the
the place on the
exhaust,
engine.
right?
Yeah.
It changed the center 4 ports or the center 4 valve arrangements, center 4 cylinders worth of valve arrangements on the engine. So that's why we just started with a 350 profile. And that's what I was hoping to just cut the journals down, slam it in there. But the profile was so large on the core, like just
base
just
circle.
how
Yeah.
big a diameter everything
Mm-hmm.
was so big it wouldn't fit in the 300 has the tapered cam journals like a Mopar,
Yeah.
right? I swear the small block Buick has so many things in common with the small block LA Dodge. And then there's other things it has in common with the Windsor Ford that's just ridiculous. And
Yeah.
you like, you put all the engines side by side, just a bare block, and I bet you'd have to be hard pressed for somebody to get all three of them right.
So now I'm still completely confused here. So
Okay,
did I take a profile from the 300 and put it on the 350 cam, or did I take the profile from the 350 cam, put it on 300 cam?
no, you took the profile of a
Mhm.
300 Buick and put
Got
it
it.
on the 350 Buick camshaft blank. Well, it's
Okay.
essentially just an old
So
camshaft.
it was number one. Okay. So then the 300 was it? I think it was the 300 had the biggest
Yeah,
profile because
well, I told you I said from the factory, they got a pretty big profile because they chop at idle.
yes, that's
And
so it was the
but
300. Yeah. So the
right,
300 had the big profiles. What it was.
if
Yeah.
you didn't know this, the nailhead Buicks were the first ones to use like a pretty healthy profile from the factory.
Hmm.
And the 300 was a carry. It was a go in between the nailhead and the big block Buick.
Yeah, it was probably a big cams because it was such a small engine, so
I believe that's what it was.
cam to get it going. Yeah, because I remember that. I remember because I remember looking at the three. Now that I'm starting to remember it, I remember the 350 had really tiny numbers, but then we did the 300. The 300, I was like, holy crap, this thing's big. And then when we actually did a profile of the camshaft, I remember it coming out huge. And I remember telling you, this thing's
Well,
massive.
well, for what it was, because you're like, what is this in? And I'm like, this
Yeah,
is 300 Buick, and you're like, that's the biggest profile I've ever seen on a factory camshaft. And
yeah, it was.
the I want to say the lift on it was like 387, and then it's got 1.6 rockers,
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy. Yeah, yeah.
And then the duration on it's like, I don't know, for factory, it's not. I mean, if you just start throwing out the numbers, it's going to sound pretty meager compared to what you can buy. But
Yeah.
for factory camshaft, I want to say it was like 205 degrees on the intake,
Yeah,
and
something like
probably
that.
like I think the exhaust was more, it was like 214 on the exhaust.
Yeah, and I think it was on like a 112. I don't remember exactly. I can find out in fact, I'll do that when I go back to work on Monday, but I'll find out what it is. But yeah, just so we can remember. But I
Yeah,
remember
it
it
was
was
just like impressive what it was because you said I have the factory blank or master for that 300 Buick.
hmm
And I'm like, sweet, because I cannot find any information on the
yeah.
camshaft other than lift.
hmm Yeah.
And so, okay. Big Block 402 says just picked up a Turbo 6 for a swap. 2020 Raptor 3.5 liter HO going to swap into my 97 F-150. Video coming soon. That's sweet.
Yeah, I don't know where that one's at. Sorry.
That's right under the Andy's $20 he sent us. Thank you very much, Andy, for
Oh,
kicking off 2026 off right.
yeah, I was actually Andy's out of here, so he's saying, see you later. Take it easy, Andy. Thanks for thanks for stopping in. And Then he did this right here. So thank you. Awesome. That keeps the lights on here. I don't have my light on here anymore. So there's my lights. Yes. Thank you. Oh, here you go. This is it right here.
Yeah, that's the one I read off a few minutes ago. Mostly old parts. Ron Ward at 737 says, first and foremost, my allegiance lies with the AHRA. However, the purchase of Heartland Motorsports Park by IHRA is a huge deal here in Topeka.
Yes.
So, Andrew Nelson right below. Have I continued the intake weld? Welding. Okay. How has that progressed? Okay, it hasn't.
I'm trying to figure this one. Got timed out on UTG.
Yeah. Uncle Tony's live or something. I guess apparently this guy Need Metal 3221 was over there and they didn't like what he had to say, so they shut him down for a few minutes.
Okay. Okay, now that makes sense. So I didn't understand what UTG was. Okay, now I understand. And here you go.
Yeah, I hate that it's been rough, Dallas. It hasn't been too bad. It's a lot of it was unexpected, right? Like that's how pretty much my week is anymore. Is that you can sit down and plan your week out, but by the time it's Monday 9 a.m., fuck it, right? Like you can't. Nothing works out the way it's supposed to. I'm fighting to get divorced from Chaos Gremlin number 1, and then my kids become Chaos Gremlins number 2 and 3 because they'll want to have me come pick them up at school or drop them off at this. And none of it was planned for. And I'm called literally 20 minutes before they need to be there. Right. And luckily I have the flexibility to do that. But what it does is hinders my ability to get anything done. So whenever I just get stuff done, it's when I get it done, I guess and I stop trying to pressure myself about it because it just makes me unruly and resentful,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mostly old parts. Ron Ward says the county taxed the last owner out of business. Oh, well, that's probably what they're going to do to this guy. But the reality of it is he has enough money that he probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah. Or he'll just keep fighting them, and keep burning out their money. If you got enough money to keep fighting, just keep fighting.
Yeah. Let's see. Need Metal says, hey guys, I got a Reman small block and a customer's vet. It's making a whirring sound, not from accessories. What does a cam bearing sound like? Oh, actually, cam bearing, you don't really hear them.
Yeah, it's too slow.
Yeah, and they're really just spinning inside the block. I would say a whirring noise. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the thrust bearing.
I would say thrust bearing or timing chain.
Yeah, your timing chain, because you can buy a timing chain 5,000 is too small, especially if they. Well, you know what? If they cut the block and reboard the mains, doesn't that screw up the centering of the cam?
It does.
I wonder if that could be it.
Yeah,
because that happens often, an awful lot on race cars when they line hone the mains.
Yeah. That's great, John. That you said that glad Memphis got purchased as well. Maybe we'll start bringing the Super Chevy show back. Look, I'm just happy that something's going to be going on there because I started building a car downstairs, my 68 Dart. And when they closed it down, I was just like, well, what am I going to do with this thing now? Because I was building it just for that. So now that's why you haven't seen anything in a while, because I'm moving things around so that way I can get back on that car and do Plan Z at the same time, so I can have a little bit more fun and driving.
Well, and mostly old parts. Ron Moore right below that says, and IHRA just picked up Rockingham today.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what's weird? You remember last week before we went live, I started getting emails about, did I want to sell the AHRA? Some corporate capital place wants to buy it, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I've got 3 emails from them so far now trying to get me to come to the table to talk.
Yeah, Bobby Fizzell, you should be on the live. I'm going to actually text him and say, we're on the live. There we go. Yeah, I agree. They are on a shopping spree for real.
Yeah. Need Metal 3221 says all I did was suggest they stop YouTube and open a daycare, more money. No, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mostly old parts says, oh, let's talk about a bad week. $1,250 in property taxes, $600 in plumbing repairs, and $1,300 to cut down a 100-year-old tree.
Wow. Hey, Dallas, that's your worst. We still love you, brother.
Thanks, I appreciate it, Andy. Well, Andrew, I guess I should say, so nobody gets him confused with Andy Wood. But I'm not at my worst. I'm just right now. I'm trying to juggle everything and get things done and over with, and end old things, start new things, get things cleaned up. I've been hiding in my garage, cleaning buckets of bolts because it's so hard to schedule anything and plan anything that I pretty much just came to the conclusion every day I had to wire wheel on 1 hour on bolts that need to be wire wheeled, right? And then eventually I will get back to building engines and I'll have bolts that are clean and ready to go. So it was just one of those things. You just pick the lowest hanging fruit and tackle it. So I wire wheel bolts an hour a day.
Miss Catchy's asking a question up here. Who makes undersized timing chains and for which engines? Chloe's used to make them for everything. Literally all the most popular
5,000s long, 5,000s short.
Yep. They were 5,000s long, short. They were in the catalog. I don't know where you would find that anymore nowadays. But yeah, they did make them, and it was actually just the chain itself. The gears were identical.
Need Metal says, oh yeah, and you know what? That thing was only like, it's each individual link. However many links is on there is off by like 10,000, and it all adds up to like 5,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Well, and it's funny, but Need Metal says it's on an LKQ motor. So didn't he say it was a Reman?
Yeah. Well, if it's a swirling noise, the oil pump's in the front on one of those. So that's that's LKQ is like
an LS.
Yeah, it's like an LS style. So it could be the front pump. I mean, there's converter. I mean, there's a lot of different things it could be.
Yeah, when you say LKQ motor, I've had some weird ones where cars were in an accident, and I get them after the accident, and the engine looks fine, but there's weird stuff that happened into them, like getting hit in the harmonic damper, right, and hit the balancer pulley, and it actually shoves the crank into the thrust, right, and it damages the thrust. And I've had them. You start them up, and they whine. It's not a whine; it's actually like a squeal.
Yeah, it's where there's so much movement in them. I had them on my Volkswagens when I would do on the clutch, and then that's actually what killed my first 4-speed Dart was the thrust bearing just went out and it was done, and it started making this squealing noise. And then he was talking, and people are going through. He had to take down 2 trees, cost him $4,250. You know, when we moved into this house, we had 12 trees in the backyard that we had to take down because they weren't going to insure us because they were literally hanging over and they were old growth. And we had to take down 12 trees when we moved into this house. 12.
So in Big Block 402 saying, cost me $3,000 to remove a huge oak tree from over my house. That sucked. I'll tell you my dumbness. Okay. When my divorce was in full swing and I was mentally unstable, I had to get a tree cut down in my front yard that was overhanging my house. And the dude came out to my house to give an estimate, and he told me $1,000 for one branch. And I was like, oh yeah, watch this shit. And I went right in the garage, grabbed my Sawzall, put a wood blade on it, climbed up that tree myself, and cut the top of it off. Perfect. Right. And I had never cut a tree in my life. And I'm like hanging on to it with just my feet wrapped around it. And when I cut the top off, all that weight fell off and the tree went wham, like just flew 10 feet, like immediately. And anyway, it ended up hitting me like square in the mouth and it busted my nose.
We saved $1,000, right?
I did, and I felt like an idiot afterwards. But I mean, it just cost it didn't cost me jack crap. But the only reason I was calling a professional is I didn't want the tree falling on my house, right?
Exactly. That's why we did it too. Same thing.
And I was just like, well, I got insurance, fuck them. And $1,000 to cut down a branch. Get out of town.
Michael Schmidt, thank you very much. Keeps the lights on. I appreciate it. Remember, all the money that we get for this goes right into the No Name Nationals Fund and Triple Crown, because all the stuff goes into either trophies or something for prizes or something for you guys. So you basically, it's just a gift that gives right on back to you guys.
Well, okay. So Ron Ward says cleaning buckets of bolts, 1 gallon of Vaporust, set it and forget it. That's not what I'm dealing with. Ray says, Dallas, don't you have a tumbler for cleaning bolts? Yes. So I have about, I think, 9 engines worth of bolts. I ran them all through the tumbler one at a time. But what happens is first I put them in cleaner and I let them sit, and then I dry them off. Then I run them through the tumbler, and then from the tumbler they come out with where it didn't get all the oil or grease off. It gets packed with this sand, and then I run them over the wire wheel. Now it does, the wire wheel does make it significantly, or I mean, the process that I do does make it significantly easier to clean the bolts. It's like, you know, you're done in seconds with bolts, but that would take minutes. But yeah, I'm having to do that, and some of the stuff got cleaned in 2023 and it's been sitting in a bucket ever since, and so it's got surface rust on it. That's what's really biting me in the ass the most right now, is shit that just rusted up because it was humid.
And thank you. Thanks again. Like I said, everything you do is going to go right into that. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, Danny Boyd says rear enders can mess up an engine too when the drive shaft pushes the transmission shaft into the crank.
That's correct. It'll actually push right in through. I've seen that too, where they'll put their drive shaft, measure it with their engine all the way suspended, and when they go down, it pushes it in and takes out their whole crankshaft because it's all the way down. It's not at ride height when they measure for the drive shaft.
Well, here's something really interesting. At 7:50, Miss Brooke Clark says, "What's up, people? My NCLEX nursing board is scheduled for January the 28th.
Nice.
So, yeah, hey, congratulations. I know you've been working on that for like 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure Dylan would be happy that you're done with school and you can get on to a career.
Yeah, second income's always good, man. Things can progress a little faster.
Yeah.
How's it going, Levi? It's good to see you, bud.
Okay.
Let's see if there's anything.
Vile CR999 says $1,000 save $3,000 in medical bills. No, I didn't have any medical bills. It's just a broken nose. I think I broke my nose like 3 times now. You can literally just go in there and set it yourself in the mirror and don't be a wiener. You know, it's not really that hard. The cartilage doesn't have any nerves in it. So what hurts the most is the skin inside your nose.
Dizzy, you sent me your phone number, but I can't find it. So you got to send it to me. I have no way to get your phone number. So don't do it on Facebook. Don't do anything like that. Send it to, you can do it to slantdailygarage@yahoo.com. Slantdailygarage@yahoo.com. I still don't have your number. I've been trying to get it for months. So yeah, I'll call you if I get your number.
Let's see. Dylan Levi says, "What's tonight's topic? Anything Triple Crown related? Smack talk, cough, cough."
Oh, Dylan, I got to tell you, SSR Performance has got a Gen 3 Hemi. So, oh yeah.
And they're coming to take your lunch money and my lunch money too.
Yeah. So you better build something because those Hemis are hard to beat. I'm telling you. Oh, I'm with this too. The wire wheel leaves a better finish than any others, and I'm with you on this. I clean them up, and I still wire wheel them to this day, and then I'll put them down there, and then I'll paint them. You know, just
that's
paint
what I
them.
do. I paint the heads.
Yeah, paint the heads.
Exactly. When you put the engine together, it looks brand new.
It does. Yep.
Yeah.
And that way, I paint them black. You know.
Oh, I paint them engine color, but you know, usually, okay. I think I have 5 big block engines worth of bolts right now, and then maybe 9 small block when I'm done. Right now it's only about 2 small block stuff worth, but I have all the head bolts done, which took me forever. Um, and that's the Buick 300. You cannot reuse the head bolts. It was the first engine that had like a major head bolt catastrophe, right? Where it would pull the threads, it would stretch the bolts when they torqued them down to the factory spec. And so they had to throw all the bolts away. The problem is nobody ever took them in and got the recall done. So every time I get a 300 Buick in, I just usually I just take all the bolts and throw it in a bucket, and then I put it in a cleaning solution. Well, I had to go through and weed out all the 300 bolts because I know they'll stretch. I didn't know that until I had a whole pile of them, and then it's like I tried to reuse one. I'm like, wow, man, that sucker's weak. And I pulled it out, and the thing had stretched like probably half an inch. And I'm, man, okay. And then I started doing research on it, and yeah, no kidding. 1964, 5, and 6, they all had this huge recall on head bolts on 300 Buick. And then 67 was when it was fixed. I can't tell the difference between them, so I just take them all and throw them away because I don't want to stretch them out or break them off in the block.
So I was reading this again, and I just want to make sure that I'm not going to give away your last name, but is this Dirt Diver, or is this do you know this guy?
I don't know if I do or not.
I think I know this guy.
That name does not sound familiar.
Yes, but I'm not going to give away his real name, but he used to have a nickname called Dirt Diver in San Diego. If this is you, you know who I'm talking about. Just put yes down below. But yeah, I think I have an idea who that is.
Okay. Tom Brown says Dallas Miladon used to make a gear drive set for the Buick. I'm assuming that's V6. I think that's the shift whatever carrot. I believe it was number 13900. Do you know of these? And if they still make them, would be cool for a small block Buick. Yes, it would be. I don't know if they still make them. I know that there is a company that makes a belt drive for them. And there is an engine plate that goes behind that belt drive system, but you have to have external oiling. But I can find out right now. Give me just a second here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to move on down here. So I was right. This is my buddy right here. I'm not going to tell you his name, but I used to ride with this guy, and man, I love you, man. I love you, bro. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, man. And I miss you. Really do. I wish the SDSD could ride again sometime, man, because I've been watching some videos of the desert, and I'm missing the desert. I'll tell you that. That was my riding partner back in California. I don't want to give away his name. If he wants to put it up there, he can, but I don't want to give it away. We did a lot of hijinks. Let's put it that way.
Can you see that?
Right here at the stage.
Is it showing up?
See if it. I can't. It won't allow it to add the stage.
Remove the other one.
There we go.
That's it right there. So, okay. Yes, they do make it. It is $500. Oh, wait, that says Pontiac V8. That's $13.99. And that came up when I typed in Buick.
That's actually what I have on the Cookie Monster, because it's infinitely adjustable. That's what I love about it.
I'm gonna look.
And they were really good.
Yeah, it's for Pontiac V8. But I typed in Buick gear drive, so and it's surprising. It came up with the same part number. Let's see.
I was saying that Dallas. He's saying Frosky asking, can you eat through the rust of your bolts too?
Want to eat the bolts as well? Well, maybe not. I use them. I use phosphoric acid to take the zinc coating off of them when I want to weld on them.
Yeah, I've also used an ultrasonic cleaner. I've used that too, but I just find it easier. It's almost kind of soothing for me to kind of clean the bolts, because it's kind of like I don't know. I I put them in there. I let them sit overnight in some goo, and then I take them out and put them on the wire wheel, and they're done. Oh, so they're going to bring another 273 to Triple Crown in 2026 in the 65 Barracuda. That's awesome.
Well, make sure that thing's like 60 over, and then you have just enough cubes to make it in. You know, but no, really, you're just gonna have to live with the engine being too small. Somebody was asking me this the other day. I don't remember who. Maybe Alex Kleinhaus. Something garage, is that him? Anyway, he was asking about a 289, and since it was smaller, 289 was smaller than what was needed in the class. Could he fall below 2,700 pounds? And I'm like, nope. That's your problem.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I've got a 360 downstairs. That's it's one of the blue block. It's just like what I gave you, Dallas. One of those Buick ones. This is just a 360. If you come to my house, I'll give it to you. You can put it in that car because that way you'll actually have something to run. But it's literally just a short block, so it's just pistons, and they're
and it will need to be disassembled and cleaned if it's the same as the Buick one I got.
Yes, it's definitely going to be disassembled and cleaned, but it's a block, it's a crank, it's factory rods. Just put some decent pistons on it, and now you actually have something that will run and make some sort of power.
Racer says, Dallas, do you use what do you use to hold on to the bolts? Just your fingers? I use, well, not really. I will use my fingers to hold the bolt when I can clean the head, and then I use a pair of adjustable jaw pliers, vice grips, to hold on to the head, and I clean the rest of the bolt with that. That way it doesn't fling around inside the wire wheel and turbine beam me in the forehead with a bolt.
I have a little piece of plastic that it's a cup that I tack welded, and it's got little plastic in it. And then so when I actually just clamp that in there, and I clamp it to the thread, so that way I can clean the head, and then I turn it around and I can clean the threads on there too. So that way you don't have to touch it because it gets really hot and it gets so close to your fingers.
Like I said, all I do is I wire wheel the head of the bolt, holding on to the threaded side.
Yep.
Now, if it's a short bolt, I still do the same thing, except for I just hold the threaded side real small, and I clean it off the best as I can, and then I just use a pair of vice grips and I clamp onto that sucker and clean it all the way off.
Yeah, I've done that, but man, it gets a little spooky when you're putting that kind of pressure on something that's like a half-inch bolt, like long. So
it hurts. My fingers are bleeding from it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It takes the cuticle right off your thumb. Oh yeah. So we're saying that Triple Crown to the front, man. I'm looking forward to Triple Crown this year, man. It's going to be.
I think this year's going to be the blockbuster year.
Everything's going to be off the chain.
I think Burnout Contest is going to be the best you've ever seen.
Yep.
I really think that Triple Crown is going to have the biggest showing. And Bigfoot Mark was in here, and we had an idea about that. He had proposed a Street Freaks best 2 out of 3 competition. He was trying to get 4 or 5 other guys to join.
We should just do match racing.
Yes, me and Shane will set up match races, and we can get the whole thing going for you guys.
Yep.
And it won't be just you; it can be anybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the way you just go over there on Friday. Go out there, run some time trials. Come over with some slips of at least 2 with you or 3 running close to the same time. And then what we'll do is we'll put you up on a whiteboard, and then we'll put your name and your time, and then we'll start setting you up. And then we have to see receipts. We're not going to just say, oh, we're going to put these 2 together. No, we'll set it up and make it. And it's a pro tree, or we could even do instant green, whatever you guys want to do. Pro tree works the best. And now I'm telling you, it's fun. That is the best racing you'll have.
Levi's Backyard Performance says, all I can say is SSR better have some nitrous hidden. He only has the crown for approximately 260 more days.
Oh, Dylan, I love you, man. That's awesome. Dirt Diver, check this out, man. Next, when's the No Name Nationals? What's the date of the No Name Nationals?
25th. Is that right? 25th to the 31st. Am I close? No, I think it goes into October.
I'm going here. It's okay, so it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th of September in 2026. Get some time off. fly into Memphis, and then you can go up with me and the twins. And I'm telling you right now, it's an awesome. We go up on Wednesday night, and then we tend to stay there either Saturday night or we'll come back Sunday morning. It just all depends on what the night turns out to be. And then you can fly back after that. But you got to come to it, man. It's a full week of just awesome fun. And I've got a trailer too, man. So it's heated and air conditioned. So yeah, you sleep good.
Oh, Ron Ward says, Tech, if a car was to run a magneto, copper core wires, and non-resistor plugs, would it create enough EMF or EMP to affect a computer-controlled system in the opposite lane? I'm wondering if he's talk about I don't think it would, the timing system,
No.
that's done by lights. But a car's computer-controlled ignition or maybe EFI?
He's talking about in the car in the next. I don't think it would, because I've tried some experience with that with my car, because my ignition box is inside, and I ran them, about 3 inches apart, and I was getting interference, so I had to move them even farther apart, and then I was getting no interference. But I don't know, because there's been a lot of, the only way I would say yes on this is that, who's that guy that he's a super mega YouTuber down there in Florida? What's his damn name? I can't even.
McFarland.
Yeah, McFarland. He raced his car against a Top Fuel or a funny car, and his car shut off when the car went by. Now, did it shut off from the EMF, or did it shut off because of the pulse? Like there's so much vibration going by. Did it interrupt from that, or did it interrupt? Who knows what? But he was running a fuel injected car that was computer controlled, and it shut off when it went by. So I don't know. There's a video on that out there on Cletus's site, and I did watch it.
Huh. Well,
so how it's funny. Someone texted me here, how did Dirt Diver get his name? And I'm on here, and he actually answered it here. So we had another friend who had he had a Duster, and I gave him a 440. Well, he bought a 440 from me and a 727. He didn't hook up the transmission lines. He literally just put a hose on them and looped them around. And Dirt Diver was getting underneath there. When they tried to start the car up, all the fluid just came pouring out onto that whole side. And it was on dirt. It was in Southern California. And he was rolling around it when he came up. I just met, I don't want to call him by his name. I just met Dirt Diver, and he came up, and he was just completely head to toe in ATF and dirt, and the name stuck. So ever since then, and that was 20 something years ago. But that's how we got his name, Dirt Diver. It's the truth.
Well, Chaos Skyhawk says, speaking of Happy New Year, Unlimited Products is going to send the cowl hood for my Skyhawk, no extra charge. They sent a cowl hood for a Vega 2 versus 4 headlights. I can keep the Vega hood. Good. Put that sucker up on Marketplace. Maybe you can get a free hood out of this whole deal. Mostly Old Parts Ron Ward says ultrasonic and equals pine saw. So I'm assuming he means ultrasonic with pine saw. But I'll tell you what I have found. LA is totally awesome. And cut it 50-50. It will clean anything in there.
We use this other stuff. It's like we get it from Home Depot, and it's cheap, and man, it's like biodegradable, but it works awesome. You can literally you can either have it super concentrated or not. But that thing works amazing.
Well, I'm telling you, LA is totally awesome in the ultrasonic cleaner. I have that thing too. I have the ultrasonic cleaner, and that's what the bolts go in now. So I have bolts left over from when I was doing plastic bins like 3 years ago that have been sitting in the same tub I took them out of. So they didn't hold up well.
So yeah, if you want it, man, you got my number. Come and pick it. I'm off until Monday. So yeah, if you want to come pick it up, come pick it up. It's all yours. I'll help you load it up.
Colin says the rubber tip spark plug pliers work great for holding bolts while cleaning them.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's actually where I stole the parts from. That's actually what I took them off of. That's exactly what I took them. The ones, the spark plug boot pullers. I broke my pair, and I welded those onto a pair of that were the flat jaw vice grips. I welded those on there, and that's how I hold the bolts with when I wire wheel them.
I don't use anything like that. I don't even own a pair of those.
Buff says that he just runs the wire over his fingers and yells.
Well, that's a good way to make sure that you're still alive. Let's see.
Here we go. Go for
okay.
it. You can read this one.
Your buddy Dirt Diver here says, I'm currently designing a 55 Chevy lift spindle. Father's building a 55 Chevy Gasser and wants to lift the front end 2 inches. So no one seems to make a lift spindle. Do they make one?
I would just do it with leaf springs.
Well,
Because you got to put.
Okay. It doesn't seem like he's wanting to do that. He wants to use the front suspension of the 55 Chevy, right?
And
then just raise it up.
Well, doesn't the fit? Because
you know what I remember specifically this situation right here, and I want to say 55 to 57 Chevy. They used to have a ball joint extension that they would sell for those.
Oh,
that's how they did that. And it's like virtually a fucking death trap. Because you're putting all that leverage here. The ball joint extension was like 2 inches, and then you put your ball joint in, right? So it was a death trap. It's a ball joint on a ball joint. And I don't think that anyone makes a 2-inch lift spindle just because of that. Because way back in the day, they used a stupid thing called a ball joint extension. I'm certain that's how they used to do them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He wants to make a gasser with the stock suspension, so just use the stock and raise it.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. You need the best way to do this is literally go with the leaf spring front end.
Yeah, and then just put blocks, and then from there you can actually just make it. If you just put leaf springs on it, you can just arc them whatever you want. So when he says he's got a CNC machine now, but designing spindles has been a bit of a challenge since it's all reverse engineering. Dude, I do CAD, man. That's all I do. So I can design something for you in like CAD and then send you a step file. So that's no big deal. Just hit me up and send me one, and then I can kind of do it from there.
Actually, you know what? Going to the straight axle, it fixes more than just that one problem, which is raising the front end on that thing without spending a bucket load of money, right? It also... all those 55 Chevys, I want to say, were rear steer, and they had pan fitment and header fitment issues because of that.
So you solve all that.
You solve all that when you go to the straight axle.
Yeah. Here's one too. Old school Tri-Fi was to extend the spindles by welding a second upper section on it.
I've always been told never weld on a spindle, but
me too.
I don't know if they're steel or cast iron. I think they're cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was told never to weld on a spindle because it takes the tempering out of it and it literally collapses.
Dizzy's saying that you could get a spring spacers, but here's the thing: is then you're putting that.
Oh, he's arc. I see. He's saying that they were welding a second piece on the top.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that, I wouldn't put a spring. I would rather just keep it so that way it drives stock, but it would be 2 inches. I see what he's trying to go with. Yeah.
My 63 Buick had those spring spacers in it. The ones that you put in there with a ratchet and you twist
them. Yeah. Yeah.
Like everybody that brought it over was like, what are those? I'm like, oh, dude, this is definitely somebody was trying to make a cheap, like Mexican style lowrider.
Yep.
Right. And all right. I see. Okay.
Oh yeah. So he definitely wants his father wants a nice CNC spindle, so it doesn't want to weld on it. Yeah. No, I get it, man. Like I said, if you send me one or just send me some pictures of it or something, I can kind of get it kind of close, and I can design it for you and then send you a step file, so that way you can it'd be real easy for you to reverse engineer that way.
Okay, so Big Block 402 says, awesome. LA is totally awesome. It's manufactured in West Memphis, about 30 minutes from me. Dude, we should hit them up for a freaking sponsorship, man. I use that stuff more than I use anything else. And then
Yeah.
Razor Ray is saying Dollar General awesome is good stuff. I use it all the time.
Maybe that is what I use, is the awesome. I think
You're
that's
the
what
one
I
that told
use.
me about it, man. I'm telling you.
Yes, that's it. I was like, wait a second, that is the name of it. We buy gallons of that shit, and we clean the whole house with that stuff and spray away for a glass cleaner. That's all we use in the house. It works great.
Bigfoot Mopar Mark says match racing is best, but some of my friends are faster than me, so would like to negotiate terms against faster cars. Let me tell you how this is solved in the world of match race madness. Okay, what they do is they pair everybody up with a car that is an equivalent ET plus or minus 1/10. Right, that's the most you can give up for it to be a fair match race, really.
That's right.
And that was where it is the best. You cannot pair somebody that has got you covered by 2/10. And then you want to negotiate terms. What that's going to do is literally bring the race to a snail's pace crawl. And I mean, people will get unruly when it's taken forever. That's what's going to happen.
Exactly. And this way, when they're matched up, you could just kind of go through boom, boom, boom. And if we did it on Saturday, we could do match races. Then we could do like, then we could do a triple crown, round. So this would just keep it hyped and keep it going.
The best thing to do would be like, you guys get some time runs in, dial it in on Friday, and then bring your time slips. And what we'll do is we'll pair you up with somebody that has the exact same ET, and it's going to be absolutely the closest race you ever raced in your life. That's where, okay, I've said it on here, I believe before on the live, and I talked about where Shane and I raced, and his car was down on power because it had cracked the cylinder, right? Just the block at the bottom of the cylinder. And it wasn't quite the same. But what you normally find is when the cars are evenly paired, you take off and you're literally looking at the person next to you, and you're literally going through all the gears, and you're barely moving on this sucker. Yes. And you're like leaning forward, you're like trying to like scoot it along. Yeah. and you're like trying to push the gas pedal down through the floor, and the other car's barely moving. And so it is probably the most thrilling and exciting thing that you'll have ever done in a drag car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, this one guy that I used to race, Greg Curtis, he had a big block in his Camaro. It was 555 cubic inch, some crazy number. And I was on my Dart. Mine would come out on him, but that car was just so powerful. You would hear it thumping. But when I'm showing these numbers, it literally was this close, but I would get out on him about this far. And then at mid track, he would kind of pull up. And then in top gear, we were kind of like dead like this. The whole race, we moved this much from each other. That's it. And that's a whole eighth of a mile. And we're doing, 620s at, 110, 111 miles an hour. And this is it. We went from this position to that position. That was it. And that's how close it was every single race. I raced him probably 15 times.
So your buddy Dirt Diver says, haha, I told him to use leaf springs. He won't do it. He wants the stock suspension. Then below that, he says he's currently using the ball joint extensions, and it is a death trap. Bump steer like crazy.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't think there's any way to really correct that. I think that's why they went to the parallel leaves.
Yeah. Oh, and Andrew's saying right here, Mr. Nelson saying that you can weld on the spindles together and raise the front end. The ball joint extension is used with it. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Fabrice Mod Repeat says, I've seen the ball joint extensions, 1000% death trap.
Sounds horrible. Yeah, no, that does.
Let's see. Izzy says, could you use lowering spindles turned upside down on the opposite side? No, then your caliper would be completely opposite and wrong. I'm certain of that.
Yes. Yes, I do know your dad. And yes, he is overly difficult. I love him too, but he's definitely overly difficult. Yes, I do know that.
So J Malone 26 here says that LA Totally Awesome has lye in its formula. It'll remove certain paints in an ultrasonic. 50/50 ZEP, citrus degreaser, and water works fantastic in an ultrasonic. The only problem I have Okay, Zep Citrus, I had an issue with aluminum.
Yeah.
Aluminum, it will gray it immediately. And
Yeah.
I mean
It
like
etches
dark
it.
gray it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
And
funny. Yeah, I agree with you.
the LA is totally awesome. I have to leave it in there for like a long time to really mess it up.
Mhm.
And but the hotter it is, the better it cleans the aluminum, and it'll generally come out looking brand new.
Brand new.
And then I wash it off real quick before it does etch the aluminum.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly why I went from the Zep, because we got at the Home Depot also, and the Zep was actually etching it. You could actually see where it was on the aluminum, like it was like, I was like, oh, well, that looks terrible.
Let's see. Big Block 402 says, I've welded cast iron, but not on suspension. And Andrew Nelson says, the top of the donor spindle is welded to the bottom. I would not do it, but have seen many. The spindles are forged steel. Oh,
Yeah,
are they?
Yeah, they're forged steel.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I thought, wow, that's. Oh, here we go. The ball joint spacer is a chunk of aluminum that relocates the ball joint under the steering arm. I have a set that were made by Elco. Oh. So rotates it under the. Oh, okay. So that way it actually raises it.
Yeah, man, this sounds like a lot of work.
Yes.
And I think SSR has the right answer here.
Yes.
Best bet is to find a taller spindle from like a 81 Camaro or B-Body Impala would be easy. I think that sounds like the answer right there.
Yes, and get a ball joint that matches, that will like convert it. I agree with you.
Big Block 402 says, I'll be down for some match racing.
Perfect. I agree, because I'm going to be, for me, I was actually talking to Dallas about this. Dallas is going to be in the Triple Crown, so I'm going to be kind of, running things in the background. So I'm not sure which car I'm going to be bringing. I have 3 I could bring, but I'm definitely going to be doing some match races. So when I get closer to find out which one's going to be, it's probably going to be Plan Z. But I'm definitely down for some match racing, because I love match racing. I think that's the best. That's the best.
Big Block 402 says, sounds like the race between Candy Cane and Russell's dirt track car. It was a 4,000ths difference in one of my favorite races.
That's awesome.
Dude, you know what? And I tell you, the first year when Russell brought that dirt track car, that was the most awesome thing to watch go down the track, because it literally did all the stock car stuff on this drag strip, right? Because it would leave and it would shock the rear end. It didn't have a slipper clutch or nothing. It would shock it, and it would shock those sprint car tires that are like, what are they, 12 inches wide?
Yeah.
Shock them. And then the whole car would like twist, because it didn't have an anti-sway bar in it. It would literally just like twist and just go down the track. And Russell said he had like 6.0 gears in it.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. That's awesome. Let's remember that next year.
Oh yeah. Fab Race Mod Repeats talking about what happens when things take too long at the track.
Yeah, exactly.
They get bored and leave, and then they'll also remember that next year, so that they don't come back.
And that's why I would like to see some butts in the seats of spectators on a Saturday. That would be awesome if we could actually present some Triple Crown racing, some match races, maybe a little sideshow car.
Check this out. Right below, there are 2 below that. Levi's Backyard Performance. My guess is match races will be a great way to bring cars that are close, almost even, racing cars that are 1 second faster than really isn't interesting anyway. No.
Nope.
Okay, so and what I was going to say about this was, I thought you were going in a different direction with this. Match races are a great way to put people in the stands. If you guys can get some paired up match races now, and all I need is an action shot of the car, burnout or wheelie is the ideal, right? I can make you some flyers that will have all your family and friends pack in their car tomorrow to come see your match race.
And then we'll make a video of you talking shit, him talking shit, and then, and then we'll just do a whole video, and then of all the match races of each person doing a burnout. And then, each person gets like 10 seconds and make one video of all the match racers that are coming and start promoting that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I think it would be awesome, and it pretty much then sells itself, right? And all you need is you need some stuff like that to grab some people's attentions, and then we can make it roll and work. Let's see. Left Turn Dodge says circle track guys have been welding spindles for years. I still think it's sketch. Junkyard D says, how does a solid axle gasser setup compare to a squat separated chassis setup? Competitively speaking, the geometry of the tires never changes on the straight axle car, meaning that the wheel doesn't turn left or right when the geometry is changed by the reaction of the car.
No bump steer.
Right.
As a car going up. And also too, it's already naturally, you can usually set it where it's setting. So you already have, weight transfer already to the back. So you can usually use that to your advantage.
Let's see.
There you go. Brewers GTX Bratz Beep Beep T and I were 6.7 and 6.8.
Best races, and that's where we try to set them up. What you're trying to do right now is pull from a really small pool, and the cars are going to be all over the place. But when you get a large pool, you realize people fall in groups, right? They fall like 620. Well, actually, what was the big ones for our match race scene was 640, right?
Yes,
and then there was a 670 group.
And then like a 720 to 740 range. There was like a lot of cars in there.
Yeah. And then when you started getting faster than 640 is where the things started to get like you either were barely faster than 640, like 620-ish, or you were like 552. There was like a huge gap.
Here's a good one right here. How about we do this? We'll set up a match race between Just Mopar Joe again and Levi's backyard performance. Right there.
I like backwoods. Isn't that what you said?
That's why I said that first was backwoods. Yeah, I did say that. But I think that would be a good one, man. That would be because man, that race was really close. Joe was out and Dylan had to run him down. It was actually really close race.
Man, I tell you what, if Dylan would have had, I'm telling you, like a 373, 355, 323 gear in that car, he would have loaded that turbo properly and would have ran fives all weekend.
Oh, yeah. In fact, because I had to pull so much power out of my car just to get it down the track, that would have been a really good race, Dylan, because I think that you would have probably been in the low 580s or even 570s at that point, because you could actually load that car and it would actually go.
From what I remember, I don't think that car ran fives. I think it ran 15s. Let me see. I believe I have a picture of that dialing.
That's right. There was a dialing on the window. That's right.
There is. Let me see if I can find that. Dang it, I don't have that. All right. and then Big Block Fro says, before too says, the Jack Pine, the good old days. Yeah, Jack Pine Savage. That was one of my favorite cars that came out there. Let's see. Mohawk 62 says, best race I had was at the third No Name Nationals against Alex Bad Grandpa Torino. It was a difference of 6,000ths.
Wow.
So I know what you mean, Steven. I could have held his door handle all the way down the track. That's what Shane and I are talking about.
Yeah.
When you're like literally ripping it up, giving it everything you got, and the person next to you, you're barely moving on them.
Yeah. It's not like this where you're just walking away. It's literally like this the whole way down the track. And there's a finish of like that, and that person wins. And that makes it worthwhile. Oh, here we go. Here you go. Mr. Dylan. What do you think about a match race between Brooke and I? There you go.
That's going to be good. Brooke says, Ray, you're up against a newbie, so the luck may be in your favor, friend. I doubt it. You know what usually happens? Like, okay, think about it like this. Last year, No Name Nationals. Who had never really been to a drag strip? Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage. Who won more races there that weekend than anybody else? Probably Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage.
Yeah, because you just get it right. There's actually, it's funny, in one of my intros, it's not like when I raced the Cookie Monster at Newport last year. Yeah, it was actually, I think it was in 2000. Was it 2000? Was it 24? Yeah, it was 24. And Yeah, we went up there and I was doing a burnout and I was in the left lane, he was in the right, and he couldn't even hear his car over his truck over my car, is what he told me after that. And I was actually just going up there for just a squirt to see how the track would go, and I was gonna spray some juice to it. But man, that track's something else. After the end of the track, you got to dodge potholes, and then when the turnout road, you have to drive in the middle because there's holes on either side. I was just like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Let's see here. SSR Performance is saying they got any new prospects for Triple Crown. He says he's trying to talk a couple buddies into building a car.
Yes,
Dude, that would be awesome. I think if we could get the Triple Crown infection going around that area, I think it'd be a really good class to run, like multiple races per year, right? That would be the ideal situation. Is that in reality, Shane and I have already talked about this. In reality, the best thing to do is a couple of years ago, I came up with things called backwards bracket.
mm-hmm.
Okay, backwards bracket, Triple Crown, and match races. We go around to like say 4 or 5 different tracks and put on that kind of deal, 4 or 5 different tracks, and then at the end of the year, you have points, and whoever wins the most points takes home the trophy that year. So, I thought it would be kind of simple. I believe we can probably get quite a few tracks on it, and it would also bring its own kind of spectator flavor with it, because you could backwards bracket is not bracket racing. It is technically bracket racing, but it's the polar opposite of it.
Yes.
And so
don't explain it
very
yet.
confusing to somebody to watch.
Yeah. It's going to be this takes all the faster car shit out of it. We'll explain it at a different time.
It takes all the electronics, the
yes,
delay boxes, the trans brakes, everything out of it.
Yep. I'm with them on this one. There's no bad habits to overcome when you're being new. It's true, because you don't have any bad habits. There's nothing that you picked up on the street you've been doing wrong for years that you have to relearn. You're going to learn how to do it right the first time right away. And if you make a mistake, hey, you're not keep making the same mistake. You're going to be told that. Brooks saying that may not be my first time at the track, but it'll be my first time on the one, and we have a little while to myself, consistent, and I got to figure out the light. Sorry,
the light's easy.
Light's easy, dude.
Yeah,
it's just when the flashing, when you see especially on the Pro Tree, when it flashes, go. It's that simple. Release the button.
If it's a Pro Tree, which the Triple Crown is a Pro Tree, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the Triple Crown, any flash of the light, you just let it eat.
Yeah, let it eat.
And no matter what, your car is probably going to be so slow that it's going to have a bad reaction time regardless. That's really how it is. I mean, these cars aren't made to be 150, 60 foot times. These cars are going to be 210, 190 probably at the best, 60 foot time. There's too much weight and not enough motor.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're going to see some 60 foots in the ones this year.
When people start showing up with gears that are like 488s and 538s and stuff, that's when you're going to start seeing the lights.
And that's what I think is going to happen. So Dirt Driver, this is an 8th mile. It's actually at Jeffers Motorsports. Is it called
Skelton Raceway?
Skelton Raceway. Yes, it's called Skelton in Sikeston, Missouri. So check it out. It's a really cool place.
Oh man. So Andrew's asking me, is it 4/10 or 5/10 Pro Tree? I believe it's 4/10 Pro Tree.
Yes.
I'll pull up the rules, but I think it is.
It's 4/10 on the Pro Tree, and it's 5/10 on the Sportsman Tree. I made sure to ask that because I didn't want to go red.
Sportsman heads up index class.
That's a different now. That's a Sportsman heads up. That might be different. That might be a 5/10 because a Pro Tree is on a 4. Sportsman might be a 5.
Yeah.
So you got to make it so it's a Pro Tree. It's a 4/10 tree because
no, for Triple Crown is not.
What's that?
Triple Crown. I don't remember what we ran it on last year.
Pro Tree.
We ran it on a Pro Tree.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I have it for the rule says Sportsman heads up tree, which would be a 5/10 pro tree.
Yeah. Well then,
Sportsman tree.
yeah. Well, we'll just we did it on a 4/10 last year.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. Last year was the
Mm-mm.
first year of it, and so whatever we did last year, we're probably going to do next year.
Yeah, it's 4/10 pro tree. Yeah. And the whole reason for that too is I want to keep all the, to do a red light on a 4/10 pro tree is really hard. It's really hard. You got to
Oh,
be
it's super
really
hard.
good.
I usually am like stupid slow on the tree.
Yeah.
The only times you guys haven't seen me stupid slow on the tree is when Shane and I knew we were going home, and it was like, I'm going to leave as soon as I get staged in there, right? And that's what I did. And there was so much leeway on the tree. I mean, I freaking beat Michael Yielding over the head with it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Me too. I mean, I remember leaving, passing, seeing the light turn green, and I didn't even hear his car launch yet. So I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Yes, the best race is when you have to compare your time slips to see who won. It was that close. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's match racing is the way to go. I was doing a lot of bracket racing, and I was doing a lot of index racing in California, and I was getting bored of it. I literally put the car up. I was done with it. And then I was up at the track, not even bringing my car because it was just no fun. And that's when I started seeing this other match race stuff coming out. And I was like, dude, I'm all about this because this is just like what it was on the street.
Well, you were lucky, man, because like in the 90s, not only did they have that really awesome street racing in San Diego, back in the 90s, Terminal Island was still open, right?
Yeah.
So you could go up to Terminal Island, you could watch legit LA street racing, and it was good stuff.
Yeah.
And it was all put together with the Brotherhood of Street Racing ran it all. So
yeah, so Brooke's saying that if she made a mistake, I promise I'll hear about it. Y'all know who my coach is, right?
he better be playing soft because
Yeah.
I mean you went pretty easy on him about parts when we kept saying, dude, put some good rods in that thing. Dude, put a good crank in that thing. You were pretty easy on him.
Yeah.
And you knew that was what was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was saying that it's best to know it first pass. Well, here's the thing is that on Friday, everyone's going to have a chance to go up there and you're going to attack, and then you're going to make some passes and then go from there. So yeah, you'll get plenty of time on there. And there's going to be a whole bunch of time where the pro tree is going to be on there, and we'll announce it too. And we'll tell you what lanes to go in. So that way we'll set it for pro tree just for the Triple Crown or match races.
So Tom Brown says, I'll be registering for Triple Crown this weekend. So that means you're registering for No Name Nationals.
That's awesome.
This Triple Crown is just a class in it. Also, how do we get the discount code again for the Edelbrock group? That's all you have to do is call Alex, which is, I don't know what his number is.
No, when you get register, then you get John, Mr. Wilburn will send it to Alex, and then you're on the spreadsheet from that point on. So as soon as you register, you'll get onto that spreadsheet, and then you go from there. And the second you register, say you didn't do it last year, but the second you register for 2026, you're immediately on there for the discount then. So you can register, say on Monday, and then by Tuesday, you should be good to go as long as Mr. Wilburn calls up and gives the information.
And he also says, what tree is being used on the Triple Crown? It is a 4/10 pro tree.
4/10. And I did that for on purpose. I want a 4/10 tree. I don't want red lights. I will red light on a 5/10 pro tree. I will absolutely red light on it. I'm usually good for an 030 or 040 on a pro tree. If I have 26 diameter tires on it, so I would have to go to like even a 28 diameter tire than if I ran on a 5/10 pro tree.
Bobby Frizzell says that Brotherhood of Street Racing still puts on some good races around the country. And it's good to see you here, buddy. You were texting me, like, telling me Happy New Year. And I'm like, dang, I'm on a live. Why don't you just come on here and tell everybody Happy New Year?
Right.
But,
here's a good, this is the best quote right now. I'm feeling the vodka absorbing into my blood. awesome.
Let's see. Maybe a Brooke Dillon bracket match race is in order. I'll tell you what, if you really want to see how backwards bracket goes, why don't they have a backwards bracket race?
Yes.
Because that one, it don't matter who's got the faster or slower or anything, and you're not going to know who wins until they both just cross the stripe.
Yeah. I'm with you on this, Andrew, 100%. The only time I've ever red light on a 410s Pro Tree is when either my finger slipped off the button or I had a problem with my trans brake. That's it. If it was actually as reaction time, never. So that's,
dude, when, you remember when I told you, I said, hey, go up there, be the last one in, count 1,000, 2, 1,000,
Yes.
3, and let it eat, right?
I did that. It's exactly what I did.
That's exactly how I did it to you at Match Race Madness. Because I remember I didn't have a I don't have a button, a trans brake, or anything. You know, I'm foot braking the car. So I figured out that I just be the last one in and count 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, and let it eat, and you're going to fall somewhere close.
Yeah.
Because the car takes so long to react. It's really like, I want to say a car has normally about like 23 inches of rollout, I believe, is it? I think that's the number.
12. I thought it was 12 because it's a 6-inch.
12?
It's a 6-inch wheel or 6-inch spacing, and then with a 26 star.
Based on the diameter of the tire.
Yeah, man, but it's broken on one side. But remember, it only has to go half the distance to break the second beam.
I'm sorry. What it is the time is 0.12. That's what it is. 0.12 is the amount of time rollout that your car generally will have, regardless of tire size. If you take them all and just go right in the middle and average it'll have an average of 0.12 of rollout in the car. When you have a trans brake, it's not that it doesn't have the 0.12, just the slack in the drivetrain and the suspension is taken up by the engine being on the trans brake, right?
Yeah.
And so it actually decreases the amount, I believe, of rollout, just time to make it react, but the rollout is still the same.
Yeah, he's right. It's 16 on a 26 tire. I was wrong on that. It's 16. I remember as soon as he posted, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, 16 inches. But yeah, it's 16 inches on a. I was running a 24. What's that?
That's he's saying it's on a 26-inch tire, right?
Yeah. But I was running a 24 when I did that. When I did the Heritage Series, I ran a 24-inch tire when I was doing, because those guys, you had to cut like an 010 or an 020 light.
Or you weren't going to the next round, yeah.
Or you will, yeah, there was no way. And you had to run a 1060 or a 960. I ran the 1060 class, but I had a friend there named, we called him the Ferret. And he would win literally he won 4 years in a row degas. So then I went up to the 960 class, and that was a lot more fun because it was just faster. It was actually, this is 960 in the quarter mile.
I grew up bracket racing at our local track, Coles County Dragway, and that's the same place that Deke would bracket race, right? The tech guy, Deke, the tech guy. And I started off in the high school class. I didn't even have a driver's license. My parents would sign paperwork like just saying, yeah, he has a learner's permit, just let him race. And so as long as I took somebody that was over 16 with me that had a driver's license, I could drive down there and race. So that's what I did every weekend in the high school class. And then I got to be really good at it. And then I tried to, hey, I'm going to run street class. Man, I'm telling you what, at Coles County Dragway, if you didn't cut back then the lights were 500 lights, right? And if you didn't cut like a 501 and run within 1,000th of your dial, you were going home. And that was like the big leagues, just a street class, right? Yeah. And I don't know how many winning payouts I paid somebody to learn that lesson, because I mean, I went every weekend, and in the high school class, I just ring everybody's bell. I go to the street class, and it's like, I'm out first round. I'm buying back. You know, you get in the second round, you know, and then you lose second round, and it's like, golly, man, I can't get this perfect light every time and within 1,000th. And then one day it all just fell into place.
Yeah.
Right. And I was cutting the 5.0 lights, and then I got pretty good at it. And then after you get pretty decent with it, and you start getting enough rounds under your belt, you
Mhm.
know.
And
That's
knowing the
when you
car.
start manipulating it,
Yeah.
right? And that's where it gets really fun. It's like, oh, who am I running? Oh, I'm running this sucker in the street class, and he's got a stick shift. Watch this shit. And like unplug the alternator, leave the dial in the same. It automatically would pick up a 10th, right?
Mhm.
And then he would have to beat you because he can't gauge it, right? So either you got him covered by a country mile and you just let off and you know you're only holding a 10th, or he's going to come zooming by you and break out something massive.
Yeah.
And that's what I love playing the game, man.
Here's another one too, is that Andrew, this is absolutely correct. You learn how to stage with 24-inch tires because there's no room for error. So when I was practicing, like at the March meet, I would go there, and that's basically the final round. And the beginning of the season. I'm sorry, the beginning of the season. And on Thursday and then Friday we'd be testing. I would air down the tires. Normally I would air them up, but on a 24-inch tire, if you're starting to cut a little too close to that 001 number for perfect light, I would actually air down the tires, and that would actually help your rollout. And you guys can do that too. Is that, if you're running, say, a 26 tire and you're running a Pro Tree, and you're seeing that you're slacking back a little bit, put some air in the front tire, and that will raise the tire up. Make sure you can run up to 50 pounds in the tire, and then just keep pumping them up until you kind of get to a number that's pretty low and consistently. But that's literally what I would do. Is I would use the tire pressure to get my my reaction time within an acceptable 10 or 15, like an 010 or an 015 on a Pro Tree with a 24-inch tire.
Dude, when I ran the Super Gas, the NHRA meet up in Fontana,
Mm-hmm.
that's where like I learned about because I got 26-inch tall tires, I think, on my T-Bird.
Yeah, that's
And
common.
yeah, and I was having a hard time getting the light cut, but what happened was I was running with all these guys at Super Gas. I didn't have throttle stop or delay box or anything, and they were like, they didn't know how to race against me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, this guy's doing something weird and we've never seen it. And it really was the way it used to be, but it had been 30 years since anybody had raced like that. So they had a driver's meeting, and I was like, I come to find out the driver's meeting was about me. They wanted me thrown out because I wasn't using a delay box or a throttle stop. And, no, we can't throw them out. It doesn't say you have to use one.
Yeah.
So
just if you use one, this is the one you have to use.
yeah. And then so what happened was everybody was all butthurt. They wouldn't talk to me at all. Nobody would even talk to me. They just went to the officials trying to get me thrown out. And the one of the old guys grabs me like by the arm, like right at the end of the meeting, because I was getting pretty pissed off. And he's grabbed me by the arm, and he's like, "Come on, I really like what you're doing because it's making them shit their pants." Right. And he's like, "That's why we're having this drivers meeting, is because they're shitting their pants. They don't know how to race against you. We're going to go over my trailer. I'm already out. I got a set of 24-inch tall tires, and we're going to put them on the front of your car. I'm going to show you how to cut a light." And I'm like, oh my God, this guy wants me to just freaking wreck them all now.
Yeah.
Right. And it was cool, man. The old guys were kind of taking care of me, and they thought what I was doing was great because it was putting I ended up I went 3 rounds, I think, in that 990 class. Right. And that wasn't jack crap. I mean, the guy that ended up winning it had like a 4,000ths package. That includes the tree.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, I was definitely never going to win this sucker, but it showed that you potentially could. And it made all those big Biondo throttle stop guys and stuff like really rethink their game. I got like the, I don't know, 3rd round loser, whatever it is, $50 buyback check. That's what I ended up getting, was like the $50 buyback check. And it was stamped on there, said banned. And I couldn't come back.
Yeah. So Dirt Driver saying can't wait till September, and I use NX is the one I prefer. I've used Inventor, Creo, SolidWorks. I've never done Fusion 360 because that's probably your CAD program that you use for the milling process of it. I'm actually just doing the all the dimensioning. So NX is my favorite. I'm actually going to be buying my own program. I'm buying a new laptop, And this way it has a processing power for that. So that way I can start designing my own parts for slant sixes and stuff in space.
Andrew Nelson says 24-inch are so easy to deep stage.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're running a no D stage class, man, you have to learn your car.
100%.
Well, I think if it's any kind of bracket deal, you're having to learn your car anyway.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is that's why I practiced on them, because I went red a few times until I got the air pressure just right. I think I was running like 25 pounds in the front tires on the 24 inches just to get that. So that way I wouldn't go red. Is deep stage allowed in triple count? I don't see why not.
Yeah, sure. But you know what? Like, I don't think it's going to help you at all.
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so either. But yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, you know. Oh, and yeah, by the way, Happy New Year to everyone. In fact, we've only got about 9 minutes left, man. This has gone by really fast today.
It is blown by. That's how you know you're having fun doing these.
Yes.
Now is that they go by so quick.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And so, everyone here, thanks for stopping in. We're not cutting out right now, but once again, thanks for stopping in on your New Year's. We had a lot of people in here. Kind of people are starting to filter out, but thanks for coming, man. This is, like I said, we do this for you guys. And thanks for the questions, because we're just two regular guys too. I just happen to work for a company, and Dallas was in the Navy, so we can usually figure it out between us. No matter, sometimes we just talk about it and just figure it out as we're talking about it. So, but
Dallas is just a guy like everyone else.
Yeah, we're just guys, man. We're just dudes. Like to fit. Okay. What is the best way to fit an LA intake on Magnum heads? I know it can be done when wanting to do this. You can re-drill them, and then you're going to need, you re-drill the holes so that way they're going straight up and down. And then there's a little bit of a piece, a little metal. It's just like a little piece of bracket that you put on there, so it takes the angle from this and puts it to this. I don't know. I've never really seen them work all that well when people have done them themselves. There was a company, Hughes, I think, made one that could go either way, and the Magnum heads use less bolts. If I remember,
all those heads do. Like, well, no, I think GT40 is the only head that used the same bolt pattern for the intake manifold. A Chevrolet only uses 4 bolts per side, which is normally like 6, and I think Mopar is the same way too.
I think it's 4. Yeah, I'm not sure. I got an intake downstairs. I'll look at it, but yeah, that sounds great, man. Contact me, come down, see me. I'll be here all weekend. I'm not really going to be doing much. I'm actually just going to be getting the garage situated, so that way I can start working on the Desert Dart, my 68 Dart. That's a road race car, because I want to get that going. I want to drive it.
Oh, well, Levi's backyard performance. I mean, it's a 7-inch advantage with a driver with skill, just food for thought. Dude, there's nothing wrong with it. We're not busting your balls for saying that. It's just allowed. If you want a deep stage, go ahead. That's up to you. It is a 7-inch advantage.
Yeah, but here's the thing about deep staging though too. It's really, you got to be really good to get it consistent each time, because if you go until the light goes out, you don't know where you're at in that beam. You're not really sure if you just go up there and hit it. You have to literally keep breaking
and it's really easy to red light in the deep stage.
Yeah, it is.
Generally, I was always told deep stage a slow car. That's the only time you ever deep stage a car.
Yeah,
you're going to do it. This is a slow car, slow reacting car.
Yeah, I wouldn't deep stage the car that you're going to be running. I'm kind of helping you with a few things, and you're bouncing some things off of me. Don't just go with a regular stage on it. And if she's still slow on that, go to a 24-inch tire.
Or you can deep stage with a really tall tire if you got a set of 28s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'll be the same. And you're 7 inches shorter. That's why if you go look at the old school pictures, that's why guys had the really tall tires on the front, unlike stocks and super stocks.
Yeah. Oh, and he's also going to bring me the fuel log. Yeah, I let him borrow a prototype fuel log in 24 before those things were even released.
Oh,
that sounds good. Whatever. Would it be better to have the heads drilled for the LA intake, or put the holes in for I put holes in stuff for a living. I would do it on the intake then, personally, because you know, these are already going to be drilled this way, and to re-drill it this direction straight down. I mean, you could do that, I guess,
I
but
don't. I'm telling you, there's got to be something that you can line that up on, like 2 bolts at the end or whatever. You can almost do that with a hand drill. I'm sure of it.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can get you the dimensions on it. You know, I mean, and there
Well,
is a
even if you
company.
go deep into the water jacket, you literally just put thread sealant on the bolt and tighten it down.
Yeah, exactly.
I would do it. I just mock it up on the block, set the intake manifold on there. If a couple bolt holes line up already, I'd drill them out and put some bolts in it, hold it in place, and drill the rest.
Yeah, if you exactly if you have, like, say, a jobber drill bit, so that way it doesn't cut, and then you just use the bolt hole as your alignment and it goes straight down. So that way it's not cutting it; it's going straight in. That'd be good. Oh, here we go. So he made a fixture to locate the two off the 2 head bolts. Well, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, get in touch with him. He'll actually have it. Do you got any videos coming up, Dallas? Have you made anything?
I don't. I've actually been kind of late. Well, not lazy. I've been busy with my kids, and then I had one of my junior high friends come and stay with me for a couple of days. We hung out, laughed about a bunch of stupid stuff,
Yeah.
drank some beers, watched some YouTube, and that was about it. Oh, we went to the junkyard. I went to the junkyard, dude.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
That's
And it was
awesome.
fantastic. I found all the parts I need to fix everything I own, and I'll be broke. But I did find them. And there was a ZR2 Blazer over there that had the 8.5-inch rear end in it that I really wanted to grab it so I could put it in my S10.
Yes, you should absolutely make a video of this. I tell you right now, more people than not would want to do this, because a lot of people have the intake, but then they change the heads out because they just run flow better, so that way to do it. Here's what I've been working on: is I've been drumming a lot. But back in when I was drumming a lot, I used to use this stick. This is a 5B stick, nylon tip. I just can't seem to hold this like I used to and be fast. I had to go all the way down to a 5 AN, and they don't make these Pro Marks, at least in my area. They don't make this Pro Mark Natural they used to use anymore. So I had to go with the Vic First. You know, that's what I'm running now. But yeah, I've been just drumming and having fun. You know, so that's what I've been doing. And I don't want to make
Are
any
those sticks
videos
made
of
out
that.
of pine? Are those pine?
These are oak.
Oh, oak. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they made those out of.
Oh, they can make them out of all kinds. Actually, I have some plastic ones too. I collector of drumsticks. I got all kinds of them, but what it really comes down to, see the difference in the tip here? See how one's really big, one's really small?
Uh-huh.
So this is and then the actual thickness of the stick itself, but these ones, because it's the N, they're the exact same length, because I'm used to hitting something I think these are 18 inches.
Right. You change the length and your timing's way off.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And getting the balances right. And I got to tell you, man, I've been watching, there's so much stuff on YouTube now. All my books that I used to learn, just to get my rudiments back, man, it's all on YouTube, and I can literally just put on the screen right here and do it and watch it. But just getting my speed back. I mean, being in your 50s does suck, because Dirt Diver in here, he used to kind of roadie for me, and so he knows you know, like the speed that we used to run and all that stuff. But I gotta tell you, Dirt Diver, man, I'm about 75% of the speed I used to be. So
Well, hey, I have to say this 2026 is going to be the year of Mr. Rodder's neighborhood. So I'm going to hit it pretty hard, I think, this year. When it starts coming, it's going to be coming quite often and quite too much.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting there. I'm trying to get myself organized and back on track.
That's awesome. Yeah. For me, I'm going to make it sure that it's fun for me, and that's what I'm gonna do. And Danny Boyd said cars took over my interest in music making. I'm telling you right now that I'm going to try to do both because I just want to have some fun with it. I can record. I have found my drum mics and everything. So I'm going to start recording. And I am talking to someone about doing something really special for the No Name National. So,
Oh, sweet. Good.
yeah.
And your friend here wants to know, are you still capable of chopping a Jeep in half with an axe?
Oh, man. Yes, I can. Yeah, back in my wilder days, there was really quick story. Back in my wilder days, there was a car that was left on someone's property, and I used a fireman's axe, and I think it was either a Jeep or a truck. I can't remember. I was, a little inebriated. I cut the car in half with an axe, long ways, right through the roof, down the side, through the bottom. I cut it literally in half. So, yes. That was before the days of YouTube.
Well, there's all kinds of stupid stuff I did. I wish I would have had a YouTube channel for, because I'd make Cletus McFarland look like a lazy boy chair, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, wait till he's 50. Do you think he's gonna be doing this kind of stuff like I am? Probably not.
Well, anyways, guys, Happy New Year. Don't forget our WAF Racing. Go check them out. There's a link there in the chats. They're the ones that bring this, so that way we don't have to pay for this. So we're bringing it to you. No commercials, no nothing. And I hope everyone has a great New Year. I'm actually going to go to bed here soon, and I'm just going to wake up and say Happy New Year.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and have New Year's breakfast. I'll see you, Cat. Flip side. See you on
All right, yeah.
next Wednesday.
Yeah, you guys take it easy.